$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Ibrahim here, Messenger of Covenant, break of 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, I'm not sure if I'm going to get to my normal promise broadcast. I'm going to talk about something special. Because this is crucial, because this is what this is all about. When you boil it down. It's about the Levites. That's what we're going to talk about. So let me get to a few things here first, then we get to that. But again, why no one ever steps up to this? It's been out for years. Why does no one ever step up to it? That tells you everything you need to know right there. They don't need $5,000. They don't want to shut me up. Well, step to it.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
They do that on a daily basis. It's right in front of your face. That's the kind of thing we're going to talk about in a minute.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
yes, sir,
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you. Go ahead.
One more time, brother.
3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. 6. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
It said Suleiman would be alone. 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 A lone warrior on the battlefield. Alone. Think about that one. Alone. Lone warrior on the battlefield. Okay, we're going to talk about the Levites now. We're told that the blacks in America will be in 3 categories. See, black is a generic term. See, it's a skin color. It doesn't speak to your nature. That's one of the tricks they use. Got it all up together, mix up chaff and wheat together. That's one of the tricks they use. That's one trick Malcolm used too. Like I said, white man is the devil. He didn't say that. It's a Caucasian white man. But then they say, see, Master Romney's white. See, I'm not going to that kind of stuff. But see right here, it said 3 categories. You got the demons, right? Now they like face, but they wolves in sheep clothing. They skin folk. And then you got the Levites, right? Well, there's another category, the elect. I'm leaving them out of this situation because they're going to be totally separated out. Then you got the Levites, and they fall into 2 categories. Okay? But it says everlasting life and everlasting shame and appallment. Then what do you do with something that's you're ashamed of and you're appalled at? You laugh at it, throw things at it, spit on it. You have no respect for it. If you're ashamed of it and appalled, you have no respect for it, like a gorilla, a monkey or something, you laugh at it. That's the future of those. But they came to tribulation too. That means they're Levites also. So Levites fall into 2 categories. They got a thing called applied math. Now, applied math means, okay, when you go to school, you can learn add, subtraction, division, but you know how to apply it. So you memorizing these things, but you know how to apply it. That's what's called applied math. So it said all the Levites were dead. But it said they wouldn't rise until the 4 winds blow. That's a nice way of saying it, because if you understand the Injil, the 4 winds are fire. They put fire in their ass. He said, what's going on with these Levites? Well, let me give a little history here. See, I said 50,000 years ago, and Mr. teach about that, we said actually 35,000 years ago, right? The first enemy of Islam came along because they came to start falling into religion. That's called energy deprivation. People couldn't think as well. And that was, he said, Buddhism, which you know, out of Hinduism, that kind of stuff, right? So people, mentality start failing. Because not enough energy to maintain it. But some people fail more than others. Right? Until they got the ability, they'd get one thinking all together. But they were still amongst us. We didn't go around killing people, still amongst us. That's one of the reasons why we had to go through Holocaust, to eliminate those too, because they was amongst us. See, you don't understand. The angel is like a test to find out, separate those two groups. Because during the so-called Holocaust, or not so-called Holocaust, right? There was submission, but there was more submission. There was compliance. Difference between submission and compliance. There wasn't no problem them not to think. They was comfortable with that. And Master, they was right along with Master. They was in anything, some was even traitors, because they didn't. They went through with us. Then you had the demons. Then you had those of us. Like I try to say, like I said, in the winter you freeze. You can freeze all the way through. So your nature's frozen too. So it's gone, destroyed. The souls are made like I guess you call like flush. What's they call? I forget the name they use it. It's like slush. It's still liquid, but you frozen are mixed, ice and water mixed together. Some of us went through that. So when spring comes, you just thaw out. That's two categories. So some of the ones that's frozen all the way through, they survived it. And the ones, right, they survived, and they're now, they still slush. So it would take Suleiman to turn back into liquid again. But the other ones, they're frozen. They're not demons. They're frozen. All the way through. Nothing you can do with them. Throw them out. The whole thing just melts because they're ice all the way through. It's dissolved. With the winter people, they're comfortable in the winter. They're comfortable with Jesus and the cross and all that stuff. Because they don't have to think. Master does think for them, that's fine. They don't have to think. That's one way you identify them. Because see, that's the one in the middle there. The ones on the level, they demons. They don't have the ability to apply math. They have the ability to learn it. They have the ability to apply it. That's why they could never touch the angel. They could never touch it. That's how you divide them. But the other ones, they see it. They stare at you. They don't apply it. They don't apply it. They stare at you. They don't want to think. They have no desire to think at all. And that's what makes us human. I'm talking about mankind. Make us man, male and female human. They think. I mean, gorillas look similar to us. They don't think. You can talk gorilla and you can make something as simple as possible. And that gorilla, you talk to me and never get it. And same thing with those. No, you can make it as simple as possible, but they never apply. They look to stare at you. They remember stuff. How do you know? Because they never apply it. You keep telling them and telling them and telling them all the time. There's one in the middle there. They stare at you, repeat what you say like parrots. But now, anytime they've applied it, I don't care how simple you make it. It doesn't matter. They know how simple you make to a gorilla. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them. It's there to look at you. They get mad and punch you. They stare at you. And they make it to a tribulation because Daniel tells you about them. He says they will join you at embellishment. I mean, yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm with everything. They'll do everything they see you do. They ain't thinking about it. They do everything you say you do. That's how they make it through. They apply 5 pills. They see you doing it. Everything they see you do, they're going to do it. That's how they get through it. But then when they come out, you got to come out of new society where you got to think, and they can't do it. And so they everlasting shame and apartment. Because they'd be like apes. Because this new society is coming in is super technical, super spatial, super creative. This is nothing compared to what it's going to be. I tell you, this is the warming up stage. And they can't keep up with this warming. That's one evidence right there. Because they can't even understand this. There's a warm up stage, all this AI, right? And the music and the technicals, all that stuff. That's the warming up. Computers, that's the warming up. Because we brought that in, because now it's evidence of our warming up. When did stuff start happening? As soon as we got the fields, is that a coincidence? Because spring is starting to come in, it's warming up. And it's going to get better, more complicated. And they're losing control of it. That shows right there. It ain't for them. They lose control of it. First they had it, but then we're like, hey, it's getting too hot. I can't handle it. It's man, hot. Summer, it's winter. It's spring out here, man. They don't say spring, but it's hot, man. We got to stop this. Things getting hot. Things are heating up. The world's heating up. How you know? If you understand pressure, you understand the world's heating up, because that's why you got all this stuff going on. See, what's Injil, when you understand it, if you understand it all, that's kindergarten stuff for our children in the hereafter. That's kindergarten stuff. They got the basic, like here you got to learn, you got to learn ABCs, you got to learn the add, subtract, and that kind of stuff, right? And what, first, second, third grade around here? Well, our first, second, third graders, they have to learn the basics, right? Remember the God's universe. They have to know how the universe works. Nature, environment, pressure. Those are very simple terms. They're very simple. Universe opens and closes. But y'all can understand that. If it closes, that means it takes energy span, means less energy spread out. Because right? If it opens up, it means less energy per square inch. Because you guys, you understand? Y'all understand that. And pressure. So I have three variables in pressure. That's how, that's how environment, our reality works. And then what's the tool? The tool is calculus. It's a very simple tool. See, I had to, before you can simplify something, you have to understand how it works. Before I understand how the universe works, before I can simplify it to you, that's all it is. Right? Thank you to do that. It's like going to a gym, tells somebody, oh, here's the gym. Oh, they refuse to go in. Okay, they never get anything. And then they go in and lift 1 pound. It's up to them. Because see, in the hereafter, I'm just going to talk about this, brothers and sisters. The hereafter. See, in this world, this whole economic system is based on the reality because there's not much energy, so there's not much food and stuff. Earth can't produce that much. So you got to have governments control, and you have competition for the food. So whoever controls it can make you a slave because you have to do what they want you to do to get the food. That's capitalism, slavery. But if there's plenty of food everywhere, you don't have to do that for anybody. You want an apple, you go get one. You're hungry, you want some water, you go get the lake and drink some. You want to go cut your tree down and build your. See, that's the economics of energy deprivation. But now spring is coming on, and the economics is failing. It won't work in the hereafter. It won't work. So that's why it's the controlling others. We got to go. There won't be nobody controlling you in the hereafter. We don't do that. That's stupid. But that we was required to survive during energy deprivation because there wasn't so much. So you had to control how much it was, and you control the people. Whoever has control of the food controls the people that wants the food. But there'll be plenty for everyone. You won't have that kind of stuff. And controlling people, nobody's going to be doing that. Because when you get home, right? If you get home, paradise is you taking control of your own environment, total control. And then we understand we're a body, so the better you control, the better your heart works, the better you work, the better your lungs work, the better you work, the better your brain works, right? So you don't want to try to control it. You let it do its thing, right? Because it needs you, you needs it. And the better it works, and the happier it is, the more efficient it is, and you're gonna work harder than you ever worked in your life. And here you're gonna work harder. Why? Because you'll be doing so much energy. And you'll be doing things that you like doing, love doing, so it's not gonna feel like work to you. You're a whole different world. Okay? But you got these Levites, they want they don't want to control them, so they don't want to think. So you have to think to control you. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's controlled, so they're in distress all the time because everybody's controlling their reality, controlling their energy. So there's somebody's managing energy for them. That's why a lot of momentary say welfare will say farewell. He try to teach you how to control your energy. So do it for self. I remember I had a person that came over the nation and they had some kids. And they thought, and they got in trouble. They went to the thought they were going to get some welfare. And they wouldn't get no welfare. Wouldn't get it. They got mad because, oh man, I got kids. Well, we're not going to take care of you. That's your kids. That's called, oh really? Well, if you could take them, you should have had them. And they walked out on that. So, well, goodbye. It's a true story. So you always have to tell them what to do. Simple things. Because they don't want to think. So therefore they're in distress and somebody's control their reality. Oh man, I'm tired of eating this chocolate ice cream. Well, get the fuck out there and make your own ice cream. So they're going to be left. You keep telling them. They don't listen. They can't. Some just can't listen. You can teach for years and years and years. That's why I told them I just cut the tree down. Waste of time. Because they want you to control them. But if you use your energy to control them, that means you lose control of yourself. I got a family member that's in that thing about controlling, and they total disaster. Because I keep telling you, stop trying to control people. Yeah, demon wife, that's why she was about trying to control me. She ended up going going what you call it, what's the word they use, she's nervous breakdown. Yeah, nearly nervous breakdown, really trying to control me. I'm not controlling anybody, and I'm not going to let anybody control me. I control my own reality. And I know people, I was talking to my wife the other day, I said, they told the news there was a inflation this year and 70 something and then 90 there was this. I said, you remember any of that stuff? That stuff don't bother us. We have control of our reality in this limit that we can here in America. We have many financial issues. Because we control our reality. But them this about totally out, then they're in distress, can't understand why things not working out for them. It's my tell them everything. No applied math. You give them to go. They going, hey man, I just went to the bank, man, and I want to draw how much do they ask you how to count their money. That's the situation. And no matter what you say, it's not going to matter to them. You can talk. And even when they get, because a lot of them, I'm talking about this tyrant. No matter you get, they still understand. All they know is they ain't happy. They don't understand why. Still understand. They want somebody to think for them. They don't want to think. And it's obvious. And no matter, even what I'm saying right now, they don't understand it. They think they don't understand it. But since all Levites are dead anyway, to them. Because you look at the situation. Now this information has been out there clear. I mean, it's simple, and they ain't getting. I mean, you can't make any sense. Like Muhammad said, the truth we made so simple, even a fool in error. And if you err, you were. Why did he say that? Because you're worse than a fool. So it tells you that most of them are not going to make it. Because it tells you, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, first you have to recognize it. You got to flee, and you can't. That means they didn't hit. All this information, they didn't register with them. So they got to flee under fire. Fire can hit their ass to make them flee. Because this didn't do anything for them. It had to be a physical thing. Fire. What? If fire had to move them, this didn't do it. So now they got to sacrifice their children or baby everywhere in the house, whatever, to save their lives. If they don't, everybody gets killed. How they get in that situation with all this information out there? I see people, these guys come here and they got all this information in the air. And they going in the army and all this stuff. You say, what was it? You know, I was in the military. If I knew one big thing what I know now, I wouldn't know where I went anywhere near it. I had no idea about all that stuff. Nothing. You got to go on the right they're thinking. Those ones that make the tribulation, they make it all. They don't apply that math. Here, not the ones that just following along, oh man, what to do. And that's why the elect and the Lamb is taken out. Because they have to think on their own or they ain't gonna make it. We can't have that bullshit, that nigger shit going on into the hereafter. It ain't gonna happen. Nobody's gonna be telling you what to do, pushing around a chair. Nobody's gonna be doing that. Nobody's gonna be doing that. You have to know what you do and you have to do it. Nobody's gonna be telling you. You see, we did, look at the history. Look what we did in history. We had people that didn't know how to do their function. We didn't kill them. We just exiled them. You get the hell out of here. You're not murderers. You can't help. Get out of here. And they said, you have to be an example. You say, so that's why they made Suleiman example. Because nobody can say they taught him anything. He had to do it on his own. He had to think. You look at Injil, whether you understand or not, you can't get it you can't sit on it, right? You can't put it on the wall and look at it. You got to think. That's the proof right there. That's the example. And the thing is, that's the basic level you have to be on. Muhammad said you got to go, even get to school. He said you have to go to school 20 years. He said you had to go to the gym for 20 years. He said you had to go out and learn how to run 20 years. Not pay for 20 years. You got to go to school for 20 years once you get out of here. And to get in that school, you got to learn, if you want to go to high school, you got to learn to know to read and write, don't you? You ain't going to get in there. So you have to understand the Injil to qualify to even get into school. They ain't getting it. No matter what I say, I'm saying it right now because I don't think anybody understands what I'm saying. I know you don't. Because that's the way you react. The scriptures tell us they're not going to say anything except fire hit their ass. I'm not expecting to understand anything. But the information was out there. Because see, where we operate, we don't control people. We just give people information. That's why they send prophets. They send information. They don't send prophet armies. Some information. Muhammad came here with information. Elijah, information. Information. And then what you do, the information is up to you. I don't got to control you. That's how you get information. You have to first control yourself. That's how you get the information. So it's all about self-control, discipline, manage your own energy here. Because if you don't have anything here, you can't transmit any information, can you? And same thing with we see. You see these people. See, that's what happened to Elijah. That's probably why he was sick all the time, because the point is, he was told to do that, to go in and push them. Like he said, Master, I'm told him you're going to suffer much. I'm not going to do that. Every time I try, it caused me problems. So he did thanking for them. How you know? How you know it's the proof he did thanking for them? Because soon as he was going, boom, they went look for somebody else who thinking for him. Of course, they didn't think at all. They ain't no way in the world they've been Farrakhan. If anybody does any thinking whatsoever, they wouldn't be with him for one instant. He said, I'll do the thinking for you. Because they don't read. I mean, it's remarkable. I said, what damn? I mean, they retarded over there? I said, it's just a little reading. I mean, you don't have to be just reading on the kindergarten level. Just read Exodus and you couldn't go. And they still, that was the hardest part of my situation. I feel like I'm dealing with a bunch of retarded folks. Because how can you, because they ain't thinking. They want to do a thing for me anyway. They want somebody else to do a thinking for them. Then you got those ideas talking about, oh, I ain't with Farrakhan. I'm with Elijah. And they ain't thinking either. Here, trouble with his message, black man. They don't know how to apply it to the world. So they still let Elijah do a thinking for them. They don't want Farrakhan to do a thinking. They don't like his way of thinking. So they like Elijah's way of thinking. They just let him do a thinking for them. Because they ain't thinking. They say, well, the message black man, and they have no idea what's going on in the world. No idea whatsoever. None. Just stay the world. They're thinking for him, and till I was going, boom, that was the end of it. So I was there thinking for him. Because anybody that got a brain knows they couldn't possibly be thinking they were Farrakhan over there. Whatever he say, that's it. And so I think he'd be toast. As soon as this war starts and the fire hit these people, right, they go, oh, wake up, and he's gone. That's how you know. That's what he's thinking. I don't want to. I want somebody to think for him. I'm not good at thinking for him. I won't do it. I already had bad experiences every time that's why I don't want any followers. People that keep up with me. I don't want anybody following me. Can't keep up with me because then you hold me back. I got to pull you up now. I'm diverting my energy to mess with you. So now I got problems. The object is get total control of your energy, manage your energy. Then you have information to pass on to other people. They follow your example. If you're trying to control them, it takes energy to control them. That means you have less energy for yourself. Those simple things, but no, I know no one understands this. 35 years, this is very simple, and you're amazed. That's why I said he looked around. He was amazed. That was said. Well, I just read a few minutes ago. He was amazed that there was no one to help. It was amazing. Damn, it's so damn simple. They don't want to think. Want somebody to do thinking for them. Simple stuff. They don't know how simple it is. A gorilla is never going to understand it. You know, demons, they can't. They don't have the ability. They have the ones they had the ability. Well, they, maybe they prefer not to think. And they let somebody, they follow. So the blind follow. The blind leading the blind. They say both fall into a ditch. That's what's at stake here. But they had you thinking, oh, well, when you get, that's a Christian story, you know, you're going to sit around, you'll lay around and just watch God and everything's be great. You really think, is that what you think? We got to maintain the heavens and the earth. That stuff you got there by itself. You got to maintain the earth. Where you going to get food from? Okay, yeah, the food grows wild here. Well, eat like that then. Live out in the forest. We got mansions. Who's going to build those mansions? Who's going to get you out in that universe? Who's going to build those computers and things? I tell you, this is just embryonic stage of where we're going. This is just small stuff, but if you can't handle this, you're definitely going to handle that. Spring's coming in, and you can't handle the little bit of warmth. I mean, hell, see spring coming in, and it was 10 below. Now it's right. Now it's what, 10 to above. It's warming up. I should be saying, yeah, man, it's warming up, man. You can handle that. Oh man, damn. It's like global warming. Because you're right along with them. They stare at you, scratching their head. What? And they can't see. Ignorant person, not ignorant, because I'm ignorant. Everybody's all ignorant to some extent, because ignorance means it's not a bad thing. It means you don't have certain knowledge of things. I'm ignorant of music in the sense I can't play anything. I understand how music works. You know, how it fits in the universe, the vibration, the air. But, you know, you get out and start writing some notes, start writing music. I wouldn't have any idea. Give me a piano, I look at it, boom, boom, boom. So I'm ignorant in that respect. I got relatives that know how to play that stuff, but they don't understand how they wouldn't tell you about sound waves and what's the idea behind music. See what I'm saying? So being ignorant, right? Depends, you know, because everybody's, unless you know everything, then you're ignorant of something. I'm ignorant. I'm gonna be forever ignorant. Our sisters think. I can't think like if they think like they think. I'd be one of them, wouldn't I? I'm always ignorant of that, but I'm always appreciative of it. I'm appreciative of it. I respect it, and I like it like it is. I don't need to understand it. Well, you know, understand something and knowing some different things. I understand it. I just don't know it. I'm ignorant. I understand how they think. I understand they think. They complement our thoughts. That's understanding. There's a difference there. But some of us, everything like I said, a person that's, I shouldn't say ignorant, I should say stupid person, right? See, stupid kind of implies that you don't even want to learn. A stupid person cannot appreciate an intelligent person. How could they? It's like a gorilla can appreciate the fact you got a PhD. It don't matter to him. You're just somebody you're gonna knock the hell out of. So you can't get a person that's stupid respect you because they don't understand what that don't mean anything to them. If you out in the jungle and a wolf see you, you don't care whether you got PhD or not. You food. So I did sometimes impress people that's stupid because they're not gonna they can't recognize your intelligence. And you start talking to them, it won't mean anything to them. It's like gobbledygook speaking some other language. Only person that can appreciate intelligence and wisdom is other people that's intelligent and wisdom and wise. Because now they can recognize that. A stupid person cannot recognize wisdom. That's why they're stupid. Well, no one's recognized the angel because they're all dead out there. And the ones that have some idea of it still have no idea what it's about. I see it. I see something there, but it doesn't move them. They might remember it. They might speak to it, but it doesn't move them. See? It's like math and applied math. Well, they can say, that's math, man. Okay. Can you apply it? They can repeat it. I can repeat poems, but I can't write poems. That's the difference. Because like I said, they'll make it through the tribulation. But like I said, like Daniel said, they've been embellishments. Yeah, man. Recite this. Can you apply it? And right now, I don't, you think about it if you can. People say, well, what's going on? It tells you right there in Jonah. It's the Levites holding all this shit up. Jonah said, what the hell? What you waiting for, Master from Muhammad? So they don't know your left hand from the right. You got to hold on. Man, fuck that shit, man. You see what I'm saying? Dr. Jonah said, man, hell with that. Let's move on, man. So he wanted to die. You're so distressed about it. What you holding up? What? For them? But Master, no, man, I'm going to hold on for a little while longer. Because they don't know your left hand from the right. They all mix up demons, don't know who they can't figure who they are or anything. After all that, damn, you had me teach them for 40-some years, they still don't get what you're waiting for. That was mercy, but that mercy around Exodus, because at the point he said, hey, man, forget it. Let me show you something here. I know you're not going to stand. Let me show you something here. See right here. Now read Exodus. With Moses, they got tired of Aaron and said, God, Master Prophet told Elijah, man, you get back down there, man. That damn Farrakhan went crazy. Went crazy down there. He's doing all kind. He ain't teaching out teaching. He gets against you, against me. You got everybody worshiping golden calf, all that kind of stuff, right? Get down there. It was during time of war. So the guy said, man, and Moses said, come on. He was trying to plead for him at first. Before, when he got down there, he saw it himself. He got mad. And he wanted to destroy him himself. He didn't want to put the fire in their ass. He built those pills. He didn't want to put the fire in there. He said, man, first he was trying to say, hey, hold on, because that was his people, right? Hold on, Master Fry, just hold on for a second. Man, I said, hell, man, I'll tell you what. Go down there, but I'm through with him. Now listen what he says to him. Listen what he says to him. I get rid of him and make of you a great nation. There it is right there in Israel key. Right? That's the Levites on the third level there. He was gonna make a great nation out of Elijah and get rid of them damn Levites. Just let them go. It's right there. So waste time with them. I'll make a great nation out of you. And get rid of them. That was his attitude. After he said, told Jonah, don't do it right now. And then he finally gave up on him. And Moses pleading for him. Then what happened to Moses? Then Moses gave up on him. He didn't want to put the fire in their ass. The two tablets. Bam! And you can't get them to understand this. This is sitting around just staring. Everybody's trying to, because the whole thing, Suleiman's whole thing, remember, why did he come to the Messiah temple? To teach the Levites. Everybody's out there trying to do something and they ain't doing a goddamn thing for themselves. So everybody give up on them. Say, fuck them. And so they say, okay, put them tribulation. Everybody walked away. Master, I'm walking. We said, well, I just give them some food. That's it. I just go and walked away. and Lamb walked away and said, okay, I'm going to go there, put them to the fire and just see if they make it through or not. That's the story. because they do this to themselves. They done got butt broken. They like it. They don't want to think. Don't want to. Made very simple. That's so simple. I mean, everybody's trying to figure out reality. Well, what was the meaning of life? It's a very simple thing to understand. Reality works that way. And what's the tool, the mathematical tool, calculus? And they give it to you real complicated because they think the world to them is complicated. The tool to work with is complicated too. Right? He shows you, the world is here. It's simple. Calculus show them it's simple. Break down simply so they can understand how it works in forces, right? Every action has opposite reaction, vectors. All those things are very simple things, and that's how they put. And you can't give them. Yet they want to call themselves gods. God of what? Confusion? You think God of confusion be better off than that? And so what they think they're going to be when they get to here, and they see super technology. Remember, the will that mass problem have, that's the transportation you're going to have. You got to understand how it works and how to operate it. You don't understand how cars work. Maybe you don't know how to operate them. You have to have supercomputers way beyond this to navigate throughout the universe. You think that's just going to happen? You think the angel, I woke up one morning and I picked an angel and lightning bolt hit my ass. Oh man, I got it, man. I got a vision. I'm leaving there, brothers and sisters. So I need to speak to that because that's what's going on. This whole thing is about. It had been over a long time ago. It went for Levites. It's been over a long time ago for Levites. Hold this whole thing up. That's the whole thing Jonah had to do. The whole thing Elijah had to do. He said, no, you got to teach the both of them. We can't separate because somebody mixed them talking about the demons and the Levite. But the message was prepared away for the message of the covenant. That's so simple. When you talk about the message of the covenant, Farrakhan, he's totally shit, 100%. No advantage bust about it. Yet still, they walk behind him, smelling the shit, eating the shit, calling it honey and perfume. I said, wait a minute. All you got to do is read the scripture. I mean, if you can just read basic stuff, just read Exodus. And Exodus tell you exactly who it is. Clearly, exactly. And very Exodus, they made that one very simple. So even a fool could read that one. You need the angel for it. And right there, but how they deceived? But the ass is right there. He was no goddamn good when Elijah left. He deceived the people. He got his followers killed, and him too is right there. And that proves, that's one of the proofs that they're not thinking. You see, that's why one reason why X was put there. So we can distinguish who's thinking, who's not. But we don't want the ones not thinking. The Quran has a verse, and I can't remember that verse is, but we wouldn't care if you went for your brain, something like that. I'm going to find that verse. You wouldn't care if you went for your, I don't know the word they use, that brain or I don't think it was mine. Right? But this is what makes you human. This makes you a God. This, not this. If this makes you a God, get in the ring with a big gorilla and see how far you go with your godhood. You don't want to use this. So you reduce yourself to the level of a beast. And we're not going to do anything for you because it says right in chapter 22, if you on that level, stay on that level. We don't want to bother with you. It says right there. We're trying to lift you up. If that's who you want to be, we're trying to lift up the ones that's trying to pull up. You're trying to pull up, then we give you. Right? We show you how to do it. If you trying to pull up, then we show you how to do it. We ain't gonna do it for you. We show you how to do it. But if you wait, you around there swimming around, waiting around in the shit, then we leave you waiting around the shit. They must like it. The whole thing is about the Levites. The Ancient of Days, right? He got to go to the Levites. Go to the tribulation of Levites. The elect's going out here. The Lamb is going out of here. He's not here with them. They got to sink or swim. And it says they ain't ready. They won't be ready for it. Why? Because they're going to be in panic mode. Because they got to run when the shit hit the fan. But after all this teaching, and you weren't prepared, and now you're in shock, and you say what is? People are lost for lack of knowledge, but I'm going to be lost. You say, what the hell is going on? Only ones going might make it is the ones that fire in the ass. They ran long enough to get that fire in their ass. And that's assuming that they move. They follow instructions. Because someone's going to say, Mary, man, my baby's in there. Well, go in there then. Won't see you and your baby no more either. I had to get this, so it makes the Levites understand clearly. I mean, they don't understand, but the point is that everyone that has eyes and see know that nobody's gonna feel sorry for them because that clear was made totally clear their situation. So if they didn't get that's on them. Because nobody can say, well, man, I wish you should have told us. She made it clear. Can't make it clear. I'm making it right now. So this ain't for the Levites. It's for the elect, and they people make it home. So they look back and say, no, ain't nobody feel sorry for them. He made it very clear. So if they didn't get it, that means they was in that category. We lost. The Bible blues, they sleep over them. They say, man, well, if you told them, maybe nobody would say that. Because damn, they did everything. Gave them a life jacket. They turned the light on. They came with a rescue boat. Everything, and they, well, no, I mean, nobody's going to feel sorry for them. Everything. God went out away for them. Held everything up for him. And that pissed off Jonah. It pissed me off too. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. It pissed him off too because he got mad to God. He said, why you hold on? Give him a little more time. Yeah, I prophesied. I did all that. And you're going to hold on even longer? So God went on his way. And then still, after he gave up. Moses pleading for him. Then he finally gave up. I can give his life, the lamb, suffer all these years, and then he finally said, fuck him. See, the last chance, okay, he should flow and put some fire in their ass. Then leave him alone. Remember, at that time, Michael leaves him alone, God leaves him alone. The lamb, get that hell. He leaves, deliver them. So that's when they woke up. Left him alone. Okay. We'll see if you make it through. Make it through blood. We're gonna wade through blood. You're gonna go. The thing is, you had over 80-some years. Remember, this process started when Mass Mama showed up over 80-some years ago. 80-some years of teaching. That's what the Bible said. We came to you this way, we came to you that way, all kind of way, and you're still there sitting there. 80-some years. You had the master, you had the God, you had the messenger. 80-some years. So now you got you only got 5 months left. If you can't pull out in 5 months, then you're lost. 80-some years. Just staring. 80-some years. Actually, more than that, ain't it? Yeah. Okay, 80 more. Well, that's about right. I had mine into mine was doing time of mine dog Farrakhan. 80-some years. Still nothing. Then the message come as clear and nothing. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm gonna close out here, brothers and sisters. And maybe tomorrow I get to my next one because I'm seriously I've been seriously thinking about just shutting it down. Like I said, my vision when I was a child, I said, man, was I'd be so tired. The Levites would wake me. I didn't know it was Levites doing it, but now I realized that's what it was. I was so tired I just couldn't move anymore. I was just worn out. I'm there now, 76 years old, boy, I'm ready to go. I'm seriously thinking about just this might be my last. It's not anything I could say more than I've said already. This may be my last one. But I'm in the opinion that if you ain't got it right now, you ain't gonna never get it. Still got, it's still got to. Well, it can't be my last one. Unless, well, it could be. I don't have to do. As much as war resumes, let's go to NOI. Prepare, and quickly prepare them for that fire spot to hit their ass. And that's what suggested to do. We'll see. My personal opinion is I don't think it's going to, I don't think, my personal opinion, I don't think they're going to make it. That's my personal opinion. But we'll see. I just say, well, see, it's always open question with them. Because everything else they give a number, 144,000, so many years, 24 months and 48 months. But when it comes to them, a number no man could count. No number, I mean, nobody know how much how many was gonna make it. It was a big open question with them. What's going on with them? That's the only place you find that. A number that came out of tribulation, a number no man could count. That could mean no one survived it. Men, women, and children, because the children they have to go, all have to go through it. I personally don't want the women to go through it. I don't, because they saved this nation. I don't care if they're Levites or Shabbats or whatever. Part of the reason why they're in the position they are, because if their men was thinking, they would start thinking, trying to keep up with their men. So they got men that ain't thinking. In fact, some of these men, they kick the sister's ass ever since start thinking. See, I'm tired of shit. See, because these sisters, man, what they put up with these, and they got to go through it too because of them. I've seen it in action. You got this dumbass nigga, he got a sister that got some brains, he whooping her ass because she's using her brains. Because he wanted dumb as he is. And he didn't want to be dumber than him. And that's unfortunate. Because his sisters are paying the price of that dumbass shit. That's what that bothers me the most of all. Some of the sisters may get out of here, but most of them ain't because they dumbed down. Because the men caught to be dumbed down, and so they ain't gonna qualify to get out of here. They got to go to tribulation too, and it ain't their fault. Because I don't make any distinction between the females, because when we was in the fields, they didn't know they was Levites or Shabbats, but they was say this nation. I'm sure, right? I got some Levite blood in me. I'm absolutely sure of that. It was sitting there, some I got a great grandmother, somebody did to save my ass because in the past, I'm absolutely sure of that. Because she stood up and defied Massa to keep our nation alive. Absolutely sure of that. But I see what's going on right now. I said these sisters being treated. And the smarter sister is, the more trouble she got from them. So you need to marry some white dude or something. She's smart. She can't show she's smart. Because he don't want nobody smarter than him. See, in that case, he might as well give him a goddamn gorilla. It's all messed up. This whole situation messed up, brother. This whole look, whole situation, like I said, it's dire. This whole nation is dead because what these devils did to us, and then Farrakhan gonna blame us for this. Even the Levites is messed up. They're messed up. But they was too weak to handle it. So they ended up getting destroyed in the process. They was too weak to handle the Holocaust. That's why they got all totally messed up. They would never think. But the devils did this. If I'm going to blame us for what the devils did, you see, that's why you see what I'm saying? All I'm saying right now, what's the cause of that? The devils. That's the situation we're in. We're going to lose a lot of our people for lack of knowledge, a lot of them because they refuse to think. That's Levites as well as the elect. Well, the elect, they said the elect was able strong enough not to be deceived at all. The elect was strong enough. But the Levites, the problem the Levites in right now is not because of the Levites. But they got to come out of it. You see, it's because of the devils. If we're holding against them, we tell them, you have to show, in other words, we don't give you the ladder. You got to climb it. You got to climb your way. We're not going to pull you out of here. You got to climb your way out. There's no other way around it. That's the problem. You understand? I can't make it simpler than that. You don't want to, I'm going to look at the ladder. You're going to stay on that way. You're going to stay here and be destroyed. If we give, all we can do is, I've been giving you a ladder. You got to climb it. And some of you don't want to climb it. Oh, I like it here. I'm with the devils or whatever. That's. I can't make it simpler than that, brothers and sisters. Everything I just said comes down to that. So they can't see that. Or they don't know what the ladder is. Or they refuse to even try to climb it. Oh man, they try to go a couple steps. Man, it's too hard. You got to climb all the way out. Assalamu alaikum. Let me mention one more thing, brothers and sisters. I forgot about this. Seasons. See here? Winter, spring, summer. It's very simple. In the winter, that's what we're going through right now. The slush, that's us. We're really cold, but we're still water, still liquid. Then you got the snow and ice and everything. They're all the ice people. They love it. And then you got some people that's turned to ice. They turn to ice. It's too cold, they turn to ice. You understand? They're original, but they turn ice. They might be black ice, but they ice. Right? You got the demons, right? They may look like us, but they're ice people. So when spring starts coming in, right? Because we're summer people, there's transition period. 6,000 years here, 6,000 years transition period till you get back to the summer. We rejoice in everything else, right? We got the spring that's transition from here to here. So 6,000 years, you have the devil's rule because the winter, they winter people, the polar bears rule. Then you go spring, then you got a transition period between the winter. So who would rule then? Someone that's half winter and half summer, half winter. Master Farrakhan Muhammad and Shia. That's why they ruled through the 6,000 year period. This stuff is so simple, brothers and sisters. But this will destroy this. Once this comes, this is gone. They're going to resist that. But they can't. Because this destroy this. You don't see any ice and any here. It's all gone. See? They will destroy it. This will be destroyed because this is what this used to be. And this is what this used to be. So you get here, this is gone too. 6,000 years of peace. 24,000 years altogether completes the whole cycle. I tell you, make this stuff so simple, brothers and sisters. That's what I call the simplicity of Christ. Simplicity of the Messiah. That's what the Christians call it. I think that's even in the Bible. I'm going to look that up. See what I'm saying? So if you part of this here, you won't be around when this comes. But you're going to resist this because you want to stick around. You'll be around when this comes. If you can't make that transition, you won't be around when this comes. Then this is in between the two. That's why you have a, see how simple it is to say, why do you have to have a God that's half rich, half summer, half winter? Right there. You're their rule. And then goes back, like Muhammad said, then turns back to Shabazz, and now everybody's happy, everything, and now it's summer now. So I said, well, it's going to go back to winter again, yeah. But not like it won't be like it was before. Because this is the worst winter we ever had, and winter we're ever going to have. It's winter every 144 trillion years. It goes to winter like this. The next winter will be cold, but it won't be like this. It won't be anything we can't handle. We got the technology to control the weather and everything else. Well, I shouldn't have said, because they said, well, we could control them. See, well, there's a lot of other factors you don't realize. Let me say this one thing. We get energy. Now, we're waiting for this energy, right? I tell you, it's approximately 50 years. Dimensions in heaven and earth come all of a sudden. Okay, so say you got so much energy. Say you got 1 million units of energy. You got 1 million people. That means that every person gets a unit of energy every day, right? If you're getting 1 million units every day. What if you only got 500,000? Everybody gets 2 units. We got 250,000. Everybody gets 4 units. See what I'm saying? So if you cut the population down, so we got 2 things happening here. When this energy comes, there's going to be this war of destruction. It says this Injil tells you right there, a third of people are going to be wiped out right away. 30 people, 1/3. There's going to be a lot more than that. Because if you read, look, I think Jeremiah says there's going to be so few people, right? And few men left. There's 7 women that take hold of 1 man and beg them to marry. Also, they're going because they only be. So if you cut the population down to like 10%, that's why I said it's going to be trans in twinkle of an eye. Because everybody have all that energy where before you had $1,000 worth of energy, now you got 10,000 every day. 10 times as much. See? All the energy suddenly, that's why it says it will hasten in its time. What's going to happen is beautiful, but it's going to be a river of blood before that. It's going to be a bloodbath you can imagine. Once that happens, transformation will take place like that. If you qualify. So I mentioned that, brothers and sisters. The opposition. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These are these people. You can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, you know, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, you know, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, like, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. Like, I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't like you. I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, you know, Keir Starmer campaigned on, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course, it's out of control, and the British public are reaching a point of saying we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. There's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist. I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
Wait, it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law... What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is a lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a
society
thing. One culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. The gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments? Right. So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them.
Look,
it's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is, dude.
But
let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, the shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of I certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian, and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is...
The Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all think that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful. Does your religion
dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Cook's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had, because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about Black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you've got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable.
To say.
Roland, this is scary. And you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalize him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand. Now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross. Known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians. Christians, in the name of Jesus, where they said Jesus cursed black people. They call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was into it was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. As they're doing today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. It didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, they had a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black, and this was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet, what's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered his people. And you crushed the native people here when the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate in the slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so he couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your maidship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? Where's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. The legacy of Christianity has been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
and going westward or going out there in the land, ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
That do it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I. turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting so? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your home? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their home 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves, bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and We're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. When there was an agreement made, a former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with former slave masters. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. Okay, so we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big master. They came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, but he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 states to promise them that he would have prepared them for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now, I guess they didn't, because they said over there now they're begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say they looked and the farmers when they done it. Farmers said, "Oh." So then they asked master, what's happening here? How come right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't put your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they've been praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's massive no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff is coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, or nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See, and they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They ain't, business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's what he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to really create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, all that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, all that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take that money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have to find your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Okay. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say a million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one's worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates have to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So if $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right, then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth, $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Oh, what about you? Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me he had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on the money, hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with it now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapsed because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to build communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You don't know how to engineer, build a house. You don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you can call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. Named after Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, in places, just in that land, that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. It turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold that for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? You know how much that is? If it's 17 million, if it's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're going to do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you going to do? You want to fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, when it was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here where they... Because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys come here. Disaster over there. And I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call them. They call it Conland or something. I forgot what it is. Some name they call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked As Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with them. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, would we please come and get them? Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him, talk to him, let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Well, if they might get any more reports on Okay, he says that was Matthew Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those rides that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. Now they're begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send them some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no. He refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay. Just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.